I just wanted to let you know, jail's not that bad. It sucks, but it's not the worst thing ever. So don't fret if that. I hope it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, it's not that bad.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the rise and fall of FTX. Now, if you don't know what that is, I'll give you a brief recap. Then we're going to get into all the details. Now, FTX is a cryptocurrency exchange. A lot of your big name guys, your Tom Brady, had money invested into this. The Miami Heat basketball team, the NBA basketball team, their arena was named after FTX, and they have now cut ties with FTX because this organization, group, company, whatever you want to call it, has now become bankrupt. They went from billions, if not hundreds of millions, to zero pretty much overnight. Now, before I go any further, let's roll this clip that will explain a lot about what's going on in better detail than I've been able to. And of course, all my videos, all my links will be in the description box below. Shout out to my man right here. This is Nobody Special. This is a very good video.
This is Sam Bankman-Fried. People call him SBF. He's the founder of FTX. He also controlled a crypto hedge fund called Alameda Research, but that's all gone now. He wants you to think he's this sweet guy. He even brought in a famous YouTuber who called him the most generous man in the world. Yep, that happened. Truth is, Sam Bankman-Fried is a liar and a crook. His personal crypto, FTX token, was basically a Ponzi scheme hidden below layers of Moonbro jargon. He even went on Bloomberg's podcast and bragged about it. Yep, that happened. He used his Ponzi token as collateral to borrow billions of real dollars that he couldn't pay back. He then used those real dollars to build an empire out of dying companies like Voyager and BlockFi. This led Jim Cramer to call him the new JP Morgan. That's weird. It's not like Jim Cramer to promote a billionaire con artist. SBF sold people cryptos like Bitcoin, or so they thought. What they really bought from SBF was an IOU. But as long as everyone didn't cash in their IOU at the same time, the scheme worked. Until it didn't. This other a-hole who hates SBF came along and engineered a bank run with some passive-aggressive tweets. It worked. SBF didn't have enough money to repay everyone at once, and now his customers have lost everything. You'll be happy to know that this is exactly how every bank in the world operates. So where did all the money go? He misappropriated $4 billion trying to save his failing hedge fund. Whoops, that's a felony. He spent $21 million on Super Bowl commercials, $5 million for the big guy, $40 million in campaign donations. I wonder what he wanted in return. And everyone who's pointing at this story and saying,
this is exactly why we need to regulate crypto.
Remember that SBF stole billions. That's already a crime. And he spent a lot of it on bribing politicians. Also a crime, in order to create a crypto monopoly for himself. Government regulations don't protect the customers. They protect the crooks. That's exactly what SBF was trying to do.
Well, shout out to him for this particular video. This was really well done. Very well done. A very short period of time. No complaints there. There's a few things that I want to get to before we continue on here. The part about giving $40 million to political people, what he didn't say was that this is all to the Democratic Party. Well, he did kind of say it because he said a certain amount of money to the big guy. So he was a mega donor to the Democratic Party. And as a matter of fact, I read that he had plans to give $1 billion to the Democratic Party in the upcoming cycle. $1 billion. That was his plan. But now there's no more money because the Ponzi scheme has fallen. You know, a lot of these coins are Ponzi schemes. Pumping up Ponzi scheme. It's just totally illegal. But because the crypto industry is not regulated, then it's like, what are you going to do? All right, what can you really do? It's like buying Beanie Babies or something like that. Are they going to regulate buying Beanie Babies? Are they going to say, hey, man, you shouldn't be able to buy so many and sell them for so high, and they're not going to regulate it? And to his other point, even if you do regulate it, you get a lot of the federales with their hand in the cookie jar themselves. The Federal Reserve, the federales, they got their hands right in the cookie jar themselves. So what good does it do to regulate a thing when the regulators are involved in the Ponzi scheme themselves? Right? Let's continue on here. There's more. Oh, here's a video where the YouTuber brought this guy, SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, on and made him out to be this really good guy. Shout out to Clown World for reposting the video.
But Sam is not a traditional billionaire because he believes in the concept of earn to give, which means his goal as a human is to make as much money as possible just to give it away. Earn to give. And that's exactly what he's doing.
So let's say that you have $100 and you want to figure out what you can do with it to help the world.
Earn to give, you know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like, hey, I'm going to get money from these guys over here, and I'll give it to these guys over here to cover any kind of liabilities, any kind of debt, any kind of dividend payments. That's what it kind of sounds like with the background that I have now, with the information that I have right now, that, you know, understanding the whole story. That's kind of what it sounds like to me, and not necessarily this altruistic or charitable thing.
Earning to Give is thinking about which causes, which charities save the most lives per dollar. This $100 can go as far as it possibly can to help the world.
Last year, this 29-year-old guy donated $50 million. Next year,
Now, where'd the money go, though? You say, okay, he donated that much money, but where did he donate the money to? To the Democratic Party? That was a omission right there, which is a lie when you omit certain facts.
he's planning to donate $500 million a year. And next decade, he will probably give away more than $10 billion.
The amount of good that you can do for the future of the world is really large, and it's way more than you can do to actually make yourself happy with anything like that amount of money.
And he is funding everything you can think of. Global warming.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the biggest problems that we have
Global
to tackle
warming.
together as a world.
COVID-19 preparedness.
We have to be ready
And by the way, global warming is one of the biggest grifts in the entire world.
for the next pandemic.
Neglected tropical diseases.
More than 1 billion people suffer from them. We have to eliminate these diseases.
And of course, animal welfare.
Animals deserve to live
Okay, so I don't need to play too much more of that. Driving the Corolla around town. Okay, yeah, well, whatever. You know, one thing that Andrew Tate said, shout out to Andrew Tate, he was like, he's been around a lot of rich people that have a lot of money, just excessive amounts of money. And at a certain point, if you see guys driving the Toyota Corolla and dressing kind of bummy, those are the worst kind of people. This is according to him, because he's like, at a certain point, you're just kind of hoarding the money, and you're not really being that charitable. Which we kind of see this guy was a terrible person running the Ponzi scheme. So Andrew Tate was 100% right on that. Let's keep on going here. Now here is an unsubstantiated rumor. I can't say this is a fact or not. What I just played for you was 100% fact. There's documents and everything else, but this right here, it may or may not be true. Now, they're saying that the whole thing was run by 10 people who lived together and they were involved romantically. Now, obviously, the grammar on this is not right. Was ran, is that proper? Maybe I'm just not really understanding how to speak English. But this is a rumor that I don't know is substantiated, but I needed to cover it because I know that'd be a question some people had, but I don't know if that's true or false. But I do know this person right here is involved with the whole situation. I may have a video about her here and there. I'm going to come back to this right here in just a minute. Here's Kevin O'Leary talking about FTX is a good place to be before the actual crash happened.
If there's ever a place I could be that I'm not going to get in trouble, it's going to be at FTX.
That might not being true. Okay, now here is one of the people over at FTX in Alameda. Alameda is like the investment type of arm. If I'm wrong about that, y'all let me know in the comments below. But like I said, she's most certainly involved in the whole situation. So let's hear what she's talking about right here, and let's see if there's any kind of signs that this company may not necessarily be in a very good place.
Yeah, absolutely could pull it off without my math degree. Use very little math. Use a lot of like elementary school math. Being comfortable with risk is very important. We tend not to have things like stop losses. I think those aren't necessarily a great risk management tool. I'm trying to think of a good example of a trade where I've lost a ton of money. Well, I don't know. I probably don't want to go into specifics too much with that.
Yeah, he's about to get locked up. You know, the lawyer in you is saying, don't do that because it's going to add in my case. It's going to add to my penitentiary years. So yeah, that's that. Now there's more here, and that's her again, CEO of Alameda, which is like the investment type of place. Okay, and you see a picture right here. You got your man SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried with Slick Willie. I'm not sure who that is right there, but I know who that is. Very interesting picture because again, he was a big donor to the Democratic Party right there. Okay, now, so I guess that was Alameda CEO, the lady right there. Now her dad is Glenn Ellison, who is the department head of economics at MIT, and then before getting appointed to the SEC, Gary Gensler was professor of the practice of global economics and management at MIT. So her dad is friends with I don't know if he's the SEC chair or just he's over at the SEC. This guy, what's his name? Gary Gensler. See what I'm saying? See, that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about regulation. It's like, well, we can regulate things, but look at how corrupt the government is themselves. Okay. And then there's more here. There's so much more. There's a picture of Alameda CEO. Her like the girl we just saw, her dad with Gregory Palm, former top Goldman Sachs lawyer, one of the wealthiest corporate lawyers in the United States of America. So this is a really deep thing. This is a deep rabbit hole. It's not just as simple as, oh, this was some kind of failed Ponzi scheme. No. I mean, you got really, really big money, big players, federal government, big lawyers, academia, everybody involved with it. Here's more. Joseph Bankman, that's the SBF's dad, I suppose. Stanford professor and dad of SBF FTX, is cited a lot in a 2018 document, Tax Compliance in a Decentralizing Economy. Oddly, just before Sam and FTX official arrived onto the crypto scene, Bankman was working on a new IRS tax filing system. See how deep this goes? Okay, check it out. The mother of SBF, Barbara Freed, that's where his name comes from, hyphenated name, is pretty interesting. Bankman Freed, anyway, is a professor at Stanford and a bundler for the Democratic Party campaign contributions. FTX launched 13 days after Biden announced campaign. Impeccable timing for the rise of FTX official, just in time to be the second largest donor to Joe Biden. So you are the second largest donor to Joe Biden. You were planning to give $1 billion to the Democratic Party in this upcoming election, and you were formed right after he announced the campaign. And your mom is a big bundler for the Democratic Party. Is it just happenstance this happened? Is it happenstance? I mean, you tell me. Okay. So there's more. There's more here. I kind of want to go back to this earlier thread, if I can. Okay, so here's a thread. FTX had no board of directors. They gave $40 million to the Democrats. Of course, you see evidence right here. And Battle Cryptocurrency founder spent $40 million on midterms. What else we have? FTX chief lobbyist has deleted his Twitter account. FTX worked with auditing firm Prager Metis that has an office in the metaverse. So now we're talking about Mark Zuckerberg and big tech and everything else. Okay, FTX auditor Prager Metis reported the company earned $1 billion in revenue in 2021. An investigation by CoinDesk reveals Prager Metis also operates in Decentraland, where it sponsors the decentralized baby dolls. Okie dokie. SBF closed the founding round while playing League of Legends. Not a serious person. Just they put their own boy out there. This is Hunter Biden on crack cocaine and methamphetamine. You understand? Like Hunter was not a serious person. Hunter was a dope fiend that Joe Biden put out there to collect money for him and to give it back to him. This guy is the same thing for the Democratic Party and probably his parents as well, in my humble opinion. Okay, FTX organization chart, very complex. You can read into that if you want to. FTX new CEO was former Enron bankruptcy lawyer. Wow. I mean, the same old players, huh? FTX is a World Economic Forum partner, quote unquote. SBF invests span the ecosystem, so he's all over the place. Okay, this is some of his investments: Refinance, Polygon, Oxygen.org, a little bit of everything. Let's keep on going here. FTX purchased $300 million in real estate, including in the playground of the rich, Albany, Bahamas. Wow, Black Lives Matter on cocaine and everything else. There's more, but I think I'll go ahead and just pause right there. And I'm going to ask you guys, do you think that this story is going to blow up in the mainstream media? I don't think so, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here? Is this widespread corruption? Are you surprised at what you have discovered from this particular video? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I never was a fan of cryptocurrency. I think it's a Ponzi scheme. Not just this particular thing right here, but a lot of these things are out there like this. I guess Bitcoin be okay, maybe even Ethereum, but a lot of these fake tokens and coins, you can make money on it, but ultimately it's a Ponzi scheme. You can make money on the Ponzi scheme as well. You can make money on the Ponzi scheme or whatever they want to call it, the flywheel, spin wheel, whatever. You can make money there, but it's not really serious and legitimate business, as we know right now, since this guy had a worth of over 16 billion, is now down to zero. If you had money over there in FTX, good luck getting that back, because they also got hacked, quote unquote hacked, and the accounts that had any kind of money in it got drained. You couldn't even get onto the actual website to get your money out, or you had problems getting your money out. But even if you could get on there some kind of way, the account got drained because of a so-called hack. Funny how that works. Right after you get exposed, you get hacked and the money is gone. I wonder where the money is at. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.